What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the... Oh, no, it's not the Oakland Raiders. It is the Las Vegas... Look how bright those lights are. John Gruden needs to get some better blinds. I just bought $200 blinds, blackout blinds. I can recommend. My girlfriend's a tremendous homemaker. You should help out John Gruden. I just don't want her stepping foot in Sin City. That's why the lights are so bright. We have completed the move to Las Vegas. We are now known as the Las Vegas Raiders. In today's episode, we are going to go through not only highlights throughout the preseason, some preseason battles, and I will finish off by showing you guys what sliders I am currently using on all Madden. So my all Madden sliders, my XP sliders pretty much go hand in hand with the sliders that I am using in my rebuild series. So if you guys have been kind of itching to see what is under the hood in my franchise modes, you're going to get that at the end of the episode. I feel like that's a nice little add-on to the preseason. I mean, the preseason is exciting. We don't really have a whole lot of, in the way of storylines outside of, is Antonio Brown insane? Is it, the whole helmet thing is kind of mind-boggling given the season that he's coming off of. We talked about this a little bit in the off-season episode. We're not going to dwell on it. I feel like the less you talk about it, it's peace of mind. It's peace of mind. Don't acknowledge it. Peace of mind. Get through the preseason. He's not going to play in the preseason, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Almost expected. We don't want him getting injured, especially with all the injuries that we struggled with last season. Josh Jacobs, the most common familiar face for the injuries. Who else spent time for injuries? Derek Carr, obviously, spent some time with injuries. Jalen Richard missed the end of the season with injuries. Hunter Renfrow missed some time with injuries. I think on the offensive side of the ball, though, we were offensive line anyways, we were pretty good. Everyone remained mostly healthy. I'm going to make John run in here, at least in the preseason, our starting right guard. I want to unlock that dev trait there. On the defensive side of the ball, again, we want to open up a competition, D-tackle, that second D-tackle spot. Who's going to be the partner in crime with Mo Hurst? That is going to be wide open. You got P.J. Hall, you got Hankins himself, Poona Ford, who he signed as, a pretty low-risk free agency signing, and then you got the Canadian Nightmare Neville Gallimore, 68 overall rookie, freak stats, hidden dev trait, so he hopefully can make the most of his opportunities. And the linebacking core, it's pretty much set right now. Tahir Whitehead and Vontaze Burfict. We're going to go with the veterans. And then we have Darren Lee, our big money free agency signing. The contract wasn't ridiculous, but he was big money in terms of talent. Our biggest acquisition, 77 star dev player, finally starting to get his footing under him after probably 3 years out of Ohio State as a first-round pick. Not really finding his niche with the Jets. So we're hoping that he can really take off there. Let's be honest. We usually have Jonathan Abram filling in for... I don't know who he subs in for more often than not. I want to say it's Vontaze Burfict, which is annoying because I'd rather Burfict on the field than Tahir Whitehead. But you can't ignore the fact that Abram, who actually added some weight, he was 205, now he's up to 215. Maybe we could slowly train if he continues to put on some muscle here. Maybe we could straight up convert him to an outside linebacker. That's obviously something that you want to pay attention to down the stretch. But in terms of outright preseason battles, I don't think there's anything too crazy as far as position. Like I said, you got right guards up for grabs. Maybe Benjamin can impress and increase his workload just a little bit. But other than that, man, it's not a lot of roster battles going on for this team. And outside of D-tackle, I think our team is fairly well set for the time being. So I'm excited to get into these preseason games, get the preseason done. Hopefully we get out of it injury-free, and it all starts here at Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. Opening drive of the preseason, we got CeeDee Lamb at the top of the screen. And we fired it. Oh, he almost makes the diving catch. That is a drop, though. His first drop. That's annoying. Let's go CeeDee Lamb. 3rd and 7. And CeeDee Lamb, even though it's in the preseason, gets his first NFL touchdown. That's huge. Vegas goes up 10-zip. Oh, and on 4th and inches, we take Jalen Richard, who definitely wants to probably get more snaps than just our 3rd down receiving back. Does the most with this opportunity here and gets a touchdown. Oh, and he lets it fly. Tyree Jackson, Hunter Renfrow. Got to be excited being back out there on the field. Nice little touchdown there. This one starting to get kind of lopsided. Oh, and there you go. Turnover from the Packers offense. Rashard gets in for his second touchdown of the game. Oh, great. Phenomenal. Great. Phenomenal. 2 touchdowns. I get a sniff of a good running back, and he's down with an injury. Oh, yeah, that's a... Oh, he got... Oh, that's lupus. He got lupus. Second and goal on the 1. C4 special 10 for Eno Benjamin. This is pretty much your tryout. If you could execute the C4 special, you're going to have a great career with me here in Oakland. And Eno Benjamin in his first career game, much like CeeDee Lamb, gets on the scoreboard. Oh my God, man! Bruce knee. At this point, I almost don't care. Josh Jacobs, I don't care. Run up the score. Maybe. But I like Tyree Jackson flex on him. Damian Ratley spent a season on the practice squad. That's 50 plus for the first game as the Las Vegas Raiders. Preseason or not, that's pretty damn impressive on the road at Lambeau. A hugely dominant performance here from the Raiders. 52-17, they knock out the Packers in their first preseason game. Derek Carr had a drive, 100 yards, touchdown, or 2 drives, actually 100 yards and a touchdown. Tyree Jackson, perfect QBR, 181, 3 touchdowns, no picks. So, I mean, while, you know, there's clear hierarchy to our quarterback spot, we always want to see Tyree Jackson do well. And if he can continue to play like this throughout the preseason, that's going to be great for his development. Running the ball was very efficient. Even though we had an injury to Rashard, hopefully it's not long, we have cover. Eno Benjamin, similar style of player, 100 yards and a touchdown in his debut performance. 60, I mean, the yards per carry, we dominated on the run. And we definitely want Jalen Rashard to get a speedy recovery. But again, it's just the running back position. Jalen Rashard, even though he played most of this year last year, he missed the last, 3 weeks due to injury. So that is definitely annoying. Hopefully it's not the same one. On a receiving standpoint, Hunter Renfrow, 4 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb in his debut performance, 3 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown as well. Ratley got a late one as, Tyree Jackson's looking very comfortable with everyone out there. On the sacks, Mac Crosby got on the score sheet here. Nelson and Ty Summers both got half a sack. We have a turnover by Trayvon Mullen, who definitely wants to step his game up with the selection of the first round of C.J. Henderson from Florida. Mullen doesn't want to get kind of swept under the rug, wants to remind everyone that he is a talented playmaker from Clemson. And, he's starting to raise a couple eyebrows here on the defensive side of the ball. But a dominant opening preseason game. Let's continue this trend throughout the rest of the preseason. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. We let the computer control the defensive side of the ball. And first round draft pick, broken toe. I mean, good news is that most of this time is going to be chewed up in the preseason. Also good news is I turned off injuries for the preseason. That's always a rule of thumb because no one wants to see anyone big go down because we've had a lot of issues with injuries in the preseason. So I have, just full disclosure, from now on, we have our punishment for having injuries. But I'm turning injuries off for just the preseason only, because it's garbage. We also have an OL mentorship. On the offensive line, Rodney Hudson wants to take Colton Miller under his wing. That's pretty good. These are always the ones that you want. He has our left tackle. I definitely want him to step up his pass blocking, and we'll get finesse pass blocking. So hopefully, usually I've been able to say you get 1 to 2, +1, +2 overall from these scenarios. So that's pretty good, considering we didn't get to have these scenarios this time last year because we were controlling Mark Davis to relocate the team to Las Vegas. So next up in preseason, game 2, missing C.J. Henderson. And, another reason right now I just saw at the top of my head because it's a glitch, is that in Madden, while your offense in the preseason will sub and rotate in your depth guys, I've noticed for whatever reason, your defense, it's always your starters on defense. You'll notice that in the fourth quarter, in that last game against the Packers, I don't know if you noticed, Kenny Clark was out there. So for whatever reason, the defensive guys don't substitute out to get in the depth players. So that means you're just opening a huge door, a black hole, if you will, to injuries to your defensive starters because they're not accurately getting subbed out like they should in the preseason. So from now on, I recommend to everyone out there, just turn injuries off for the preseason. Don't be like me and have your first round pick go down with a broken toe. Luckily, he'll probably be back week 1. But, lesson learned. Let's get into preseason. Game 2 against the Steelers. Oh, there we go. Tyrell Williams. I mean, we're going undefeated in the preseason. We're going to start the tone because we're going undefeated in the regular season. But Tyrell Williams, in absence of AB, is getting wide open, getting a lot of useful targets with Derek Carr. Oh, you're not catching him. You're not catching CD. You're not catching CD Lamb. He's a burner. He got that Hollywood Brown speed. I don't know who's faster between him and Hollywood. It's pretty close. That'd be an interesting foot race, but 73 yards, back-to-back games to start his career with touchdowns for CD Lamb. Look at him. Get that. Cueing that Gus Johnson. You got that getaway from the cop speed. Sean Davis, Joe Hayden didn't stand a chance. In breaking news from outside Heinz Field, there appears to be a white Bronco driven by OJ Simpson with Antonio Brown in full gear in the passenger as he pulls up to the Raiders locker room here as we get into the second quarter of this Week 2 preseason game. Will Antonio Brown play? According to reports, he was debating retirement if he has to wear a helmet, but one would think too much to pass up getting back at his old Steelers teammates. Now, will John Gruden put him in the game? It's unclear. We'll see what Chucky does. Oh, let's go. In a weird change of events, Antonio Brown, to get revenge on his former team, dressed up, appeared in the second quarter. John Gruden was not expecting him, and now he's out there right now catching and running routes. This has got to be the craziest development of the preseason. Antonio Brown straight up said, I'm not going to training camp, and then shows up mid-game to get some revenge on his former team, comes in for a drive, scores a touchdown. One can only assume he's just going home now. Look at that God complex he has right there. Hailing to himself. Oh, let's go. Eno Benjamin, wide open. Terrific route. He's a terrific route runner. That was a solid route that other running backs could have botched. So it's so simple. They overthink it. He ran it very effectively. Vegas regains the lead. So in a game that was pretty exciting, will be constantly remembered as the AB game, where Antonio Brown, who just came out with the helmet thing, he's not playing until he get out, just shows up mid-game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, his old rival, and then smokes them. He gives them smoke for a drive, reminding everyone. I mean, it makes sense. I was shocked that he didn't come out early in the week and say he was going to return and just at least play this one game. But Carr looked phenomenal. Again, back-to-back games where we have a quarterback that is at least a perfect QBR. 282, 3 touchdowns, no picks for Derek Carr. Touchdown and picks for Tyree Jackson. The run game wasn't nearly as effective as it was a week ago. AB for 1 drive, 4 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Tyrell Williams, also a good game, 3 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Eno Benjamin got a touchdown. CD Lamb, 73-yard touchdown. I mean, we balled out on the defensive side of the ball. 11 tackles, Darren Lee. We got a sack from Arden Key. A pick from Vontez Burfict, as we are 2-0 now in the preseason. But again, everything is going to kind of be overshadowed by Antonio Brown and his shenanigans, maybe? I don't know. I'm not going to lie. That was kind of a baller move. Show up against your former employer, smoke him for a drive, then just bounce. So get ready for week 3. I'm convinced Antonio Brown's bipolar because we get this message that he wants to mentor CD Lamb. Now, on one hand, why wouldn't you? You know, you get the GOAT, a guy that just coming off of shattering Randy Moss's single-season record for receiving touchdowns, second in receiving yards. Wants to have about CD Lamb, a young emerging star wide receiver. Now, is he impressionable? Is this going to be a bad influence on CD Lamb? This is going to be a massive decision for us going forward. I think for CD Lamb, getting open has no problem with that. Catching in traffic is pretty good, spectacular catch. But the catch in traffic, I mean, let's go with faking out tacklers. The rack, that's where AB, that's his strength, that's his bread and butter. So we got +3 juke move. I'll take that right off the bat. But the more underlining issue is that is AB the kind of guy we want mentoring our star first-round pick? Oh boy. Oh, Jalen Bouchard, he is shifty. We were kind of getting robbed in one-sided fight so far against the Ravens. That pulls us back 35 yards, down 4. Oh, that was absurd. CD Lamb, his 5th catch, 87 yards in the first half. Give me a replay. Give me a replay of that snag. Oh, my God. Oh, that was filthy. There we go. Eno Benjamin, 3rd time's the charm, gets in 3 straight games with a touchdown for the Arizona State product. Well, that was an ugly game to open up the new stadium. Moving on. At the end of preseason, we have to make our cuts. It's pretty good that we only have 10 because we straight up could put all these guys on our practice squad for the time being. So Ronald Ollie, Jonah Jackson, Sean Wade will go to the practice squad. We got Michael Ojemudia on UDFA out of Iowa at corner. Move him to practice squad, please. Would you please go to practice squad? Why won't you let me send you to practice squad? Oh, you know who it is! Anyone that's ever watched Pig Slips, you know what it is. Austin Prohl, Prohl 316. Oh, there we go. Jalen Richard. That should be enough. Our defense is playing outstanding this week. As, you know, the stadium's half full. I don't know if we're going to talk about fair weather fans in Las Vegas, but it would be nice, even if it is just the preseason, get a victory in front of this home crowd. Oh, he's pretty good. Jalen Richard, second touchdown, reminding everyone just, you know, when he's healthy, he's a dynamic, interesting weapon for this Vegas Raiders offense. Look at that. Great vision. Good block from Renfro. He's a scrappy gym rat. Let's see if we can get Jalen Richard in for the hat trick, and we do. His third rushing touchdown of the game, as it looks like the Raiders are going to go 3-1 in the preseason. There you go. Huge game, Jalen Richard. Home crowd finally gets their victory. We will take that. We will take that. Look at the O-line. Dabbing them up. Pretty good performance considering how bad we were last week against the Ravens. Ravens played their starter. 5 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson in that game. We won 31. I'll take that. It's some good. Tyree Jackson was okay. Touchdown and a pick. Carr got out healthy. Run the ball. 100 yards, 3 touchdowns for Jalen Richard. Eno Benjamin came in 7.2 yards per carry. Very productive defensively. Marquel Lee on the trying to make the team, man. 12 tackles, 2 FLs, half a sack. Max Crosby, perfect. Joyner. And Summers also got in there. Obi Melifonwu with an interception. I mean, these guys made the roster, but this is like the big week when you sim into week 1. That's where you can kind of, you know, see what guys slip through the cracks, build up the rest of your depth. You know, the last 3 or 4 spots on your roster is still pretty fluid at this point, as well as always looking to improve your practice squad. But 3-1 in the preseason, pretty damn good. Let's set up week 1 and show you guys the sliders. So here we are, week 1, getting ready to start year 2 of the Oakland Raiders franchise mode. An update on our 1 injury. We got to turn injuries back on. CJ Henderson still has a broken toe for 2 more weeks. We learned our lesson. First round draft pick out for injury. Turn your injuries off in the preseason. We're going to go right here to the settings, league settings, as we're rocking and rolling on all Madden. Go ahead. We'll turn back injuries on. It's not going to be cool. I do recommend right now 9 minutes. It feels pretty good. Accelerated clock has been... You know, I've seen that go on and off. I've seen arguments for both. I kind of like it on right now. I feel like my stats, we're still fairly accurate. We got like over 100 tackles and stuff like that. So I do like accelerated clock on. 9 minutes. I mean, you know what? We'll turn it off. I've seen enough people say play with it off, gives you more accurate snaps. So we'll do... I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it's such a little thing. I will double check the comments, see what you guys prefer to run. We'll go accelerated clock, because I feel like at the end of the season last year, all of our stats and stuff felt pretty accurate. So now it's time to look at the sliders. Here are my current XP sliders as I am running. I'm not going to go super in depth on every single one. Like I said, if you guys want to utilize my sliders, just pause the video and write down them. QBs 115, halfbacks 120, tight ends 140. These are, on Operation Sports T-Dog sliders. XP sliders are usually like the top community ones. I use them as a little bit of a base mixed with what I know about Madden 19 and what I like. Like, I always feel like tight ends, fullbacks, and the offensive line on the offense side of the ball, those are the guys that need the most juice. I don't like any of the sliders that have them going below 100. I feel like that just, I don't know, man, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Unless you are straight up getting gold medals on weekly training. For someone like me who just sims weekly training, these are all pretty good values. On the defensive side, going heavier on the defensive line, 135 there. For the ends being the highest. Secondary players develop very, very well, I find, like, regardless. So I think that, around 110 to 120 is the money zone. So that's currently what I'm rocking with. And I will be tweaking with these throughout. They're slightly increased. I would say no more than 5 or 10 on each one, give or take, if not exactly the same for my rebuilds. I could probably do a breakdown of that. And for both of the special teams unit, we're going 150. So we are playing on all Madden. So here are the gameplay sliders based upon all Madden. They are, I looked at Matt 10 sliders on Operation Sports as well. Those are the sliders I've rocked with the last couple years. I know Mr. Hurricane's actually trying to finish up his slider set. Those usually are interesting. I like mixing up and trying those up. But here's what I'm rocking. They are based off of Matt 10 sliders with some final tweaks from myself. So we got player skill, 40, 40, 45. I feel like all these are fairly good, especially the QB accuracy. I think 40. I mean, usually you have seen gameplay sliders for all Madden be really, really low. But I have seen with how leading a pass, and you've seen Tyree Jackson time and time again just overthrow it. If your quarterback's not accurate, 40 is still going to make them play incredibly inaccurate. This could get tweaked. I have thought about keeping it between 30 and 40. I guess you could look at the success of Derek Carr and say maybe make it a little bit more challenging. But I feel like it was a lot more so how good AB was on the outside than it was Derek Carr really making tough, difficult throws. All these other ones are pretty much universal. Interceptions still at 35. That's fairly low, and we still got 7 picks last year with Garyon Conley, which was good. 47 tackling. Keep CPU. This is probably the toughest thing. The toughest thing right now with the sliders is opposing teams' quarterbacks are just still too damn accurate. Now, I don't know if that is because I am the Raiders and my secondary is not amazing, but this is the biggest one. I feel like if you go too low below 15, though, or 20, 2015, somewhere in that range, I'm still trying to find a money zone. They just throw it into the ground every time. So this is a tough one right now. I hope this is something that Madden realizes behind the scenes, under the hood, goes beyond the sliders and helps just dumb down the CPU QB accuracy just a little bit. I just don't want them going for like 85% completions against me. Like, it's always 17 to 20, 18 to 21, like somewhere in that range. It's ridiculous. Beyond that, though, I feel like everything else is fairly good. Special teams. Now, special teams, I actually like these being higher because I find like regardless of the difficulty, the AI kicking is garbage. Like, I could go up against, literally, if it's not Justin Tucker, like one of the top 5 kickers, they always shank it. Like, it's not even close. So I had to, I wish there was computer and AI because I would like, I like to think I'm one of the better special teams players on YouTube. I would like to add that added challenge, but this is more so for the AI than it is for me. I want the AI to be more clinical on special teams. So I feel like 55, 52 is a good money zone right now. Injuries are at 25. I was rocking at 40 last season. 50 was default, I believe. 40, obviously, we had far too many injuries. Now, I do like injuries. I feel like it is a kink that adds some storyline, some adversity to our franchise mode. But a lot of you guys, you want injuries, but you don't want big-name players to be out for significant time because you really want to see the good guys play. So I'm knocking it down to 25. And still, we already saw in the preseason, Josh Jacobs go down to injury, which was annoying. Right now, this is the highest I think I've ever had the speed threshold. Usually, I'm rocking like 10. 5 or 10, somewhere in that range. 60, though, feels fairly good. And until someone like Matt 10 that's, much more elaborate, much more in-depth, I'm going to keep it where he says, and that is 60 right now. For penalties, I have gone down on defensive holding, face mask, and illegal block in the back. Everything else, I'm pretty sure is right about where the most common sliders have them at. I just feel like face mask and illegal block in the back are still kind of high. So that is what I am rocking there. So again, I kind of went somewhat in depth, but ultimately it's probably just easiest. You pause the video, and if you want to rock on the values that I'm using. You guys have any sliders that are different than what I'm rocking, and you want to pound the table, like, hey, this should be this value. Trust me, it's really good. Feel free to let me know in the comments, because obviously the best community sliders I can provide with you guys that can be tried, tested, and true, the better the game is going to be. So yeah, those are my sliders. That was the preseason. Antonio Brown, OJ Simpson. Didn't expect that. That whole debacle during the Steelers game, just showing up halfway through the game, coming in, balling out for a drive, then bouncing for the rest of the preseason. I guess AB's going to AB. Our roster, as it shapes up for week 1, no real big changes. I mean, Eno Benjamin looked very good throughout the preseason. CeeDee Lamb looked very good throughout the preseason. I will also state that because, the rookies, their gear and their face and stuff like that might not be 100%. I am actually just behind the scenes. I'm going to go through and try and get them to be 100% accurate, at least on my team. So I'm going to try to line up the gear and numbers and all that stuff for CeeDee Lamb and Eno Benjamin. But I mean, the rookies in the preseason, you don't get the right. But now that they made the final 53, we will try to clean them up, touch them up just a little bit. John Runyon played very well. I don't even remember him giving up a sack. So it looks like we have a new starter at right guard. And yes, I am hype that we have a Runyon on the offensive line as a Gator fan. Defensively, we played fairly well. We just simmed with the defense. We already took the L on the injury to C.J. Henderson. But that is just more stats for Garyon Conley, Vernon Hargraves, and Trayvon Mullen, who actually we're going to make him the third corner. Defensive line, Arden Key, Mo Hurst, Hankins will be the starter for right now. But we're going to take Gallimore and actually make him DT3. And I'm going to actually, we might give him an opportunity to make a couple more plays and slowly start to pick away at maybe Hankins' starting position. Farrell, good, pretty good, building upon a solid season. Linebacking core, 2 linebackers coming in the field mostly will be Darren Lee and Jonathan Abram. Very athletic, slightly undersized, might be an issue when it comes to the run game, but in terms of coverage, that's our big issue. Our run defense was outstanding last year. It was just stopping the pass, covering tight ends and running backs. So hopefully Darren Lee and Jonathan Abram, and even maybe Obi Melifanu, we can get him involved. He's going to step it up. Special teams, one of the best special teams unit. Carlson was one of the best kickers. Townsend was one of the best punters last year. So that is really dope. We got Traymon Smith back there, kick returner. AB all day. AB stands for afterburners at punt returner. Practice squad specialist. I'm going to go fine tune this, make sure we get everything where I really like it. I don't know if I actually like AB in the slot. I liked him on the outside. His route running was pretty damn good. We will definitely touch up here on some of the linebackers. Our practice squad as follows. We got Tavian Feaster, who actually we thought about drafting. He was still there. Emmanuel Hall, Jonah Jackson, Aquara, Huggins. We got 3 corners actually. Moreland, Wade, and Ojemide. But probably butcher that. Dakota Allen and Ronald Ollie. We got double last chance you on the practice squad. So, barring any injuries, though, those guys are going to stay there and try and develop. So there we go, guys. We'll be back in probably 2 days' time to kick off the regular season. 2 big games on the road, Atlanta and L.A. battle. We're not in California anymore, so it's going to feel a little bit weird. But, oh, my God. We got to wait 4 weeks till we can open things up here in Las Vegas. So that is going to be pretty exciting. So as always, if your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, I never. Not me, I never. Not me, I never. I'm way too clever.